Crimson Trace now offers a line of tactical-oriented products, including open and closed reflex sights, battle sights, and a robust line of rifle scopes, purpose-built with maximum features and versatility. Find out more at crimsontrace.com.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, the Gun Talk crew is taking the day off. Enjoy this Gun Talk Reloaded, examining the importance of America's Second Amendment and the dangers of civilian disarmament, how to keep your cool when discussing gun rights in a public forum, a gun shop article pulled by a newspaper due to political pressure, and more. And now, here's Tom.
Alrighty, welcome. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk. Boy, are you in luck. Well, actually, I'm in luck as well. Great show lined up today. This is the day when we examine the idea of speak up, stand up, show up. I've been talking about that for a long time. You keep hearing me talk about that. And we will certainly be talking with actually a whole lineup of people who have done and are doing exactly that. Speaking up, standing up, showing up, making a difference. And there's so much you can learn from what they're doing. Inspirational, but also actually tactics. We're going to be talking to somebody who has figured out how you get people to show up. How do you get gun people to show up at events? How do you get them to show up at the state legislature or at city council meetings? Absolutely a proven winner. Works every time. We're also going to be talking with a man that's been called actually a Renaissance man. Grew up under communist dictatorship, now in America, and did the research and actually has the data to prove the lies from the gun research medical community about how guns are a public health menace. And we'll be able to prove the lie to that. And then later on today, we'll have Cam Edwards showing up here, and that's going to be a bunch of fun. If you'd like to be a part of this, 866-TALK-GUN, or just call Tom Talk Gun. By the way, we'll also be talking about a few guns. I have my rifles ready to go for deer season, getting those things ready. Been out shooting them. I'll give you my range report. Always looking for your range reports. What have you been shooting? You bought any new guns? Taking anybody out to the range and introduce them to shooting? We always love those. So again, just call us 866-TALK-GUN. Okay. If you've been following the congressional hearings on gun control, or even if you watched CBS Sunday Morning this morning, you have seen Diana Muller show up. 22 years as a full-time police officer, and then became a full-time professional shooter. She started the D.C. Project, where you have 50 women, one from each state, go up to D.C. and talk to their legislators. Been doing that for several years now. Kind of just fell into it, but became, for many of us, the face of the gun rights movement. Joining me right now is professional shooter Diana Muller. Hey, Diana, how are you?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Good. Did I catch you in the middle of a shooting out there at Rock Castle?
I got the phone call. I kind of forgot. I jumped in my buggy and I drove all the way up to the lodge, plugged my phone in, and now I'm all yours.
All right. Well, tell them what you're doing out there. You're at the Rock Castle Shooting Center, right?
Yes, sir. I'm at the Rock Castle Shooting Center in Park City, Kentucky. It's one of the premier places to enjoy golf, shooting sports, and just great atmosphere here. We're here for a Girl and a Gun Fall Fest. So basically we shot a 3-gun match, all ladies 3-gun match yesterday and Friday. And then today we're shooting a multi-sport event. So we have 8 stages of 8 different disciplines, kind of like the NRA World Shooting Championship on a small scale. Yeah.
Fun. And I know it's one of those deals where, yes, it's competition, but as much as anything, it's just fun to go do that kind of thing.
It really is, and this is the only all-ladies event there is in the country, and there's just a different atmosphere about having this all-ladies. Usually, I mean, I've grown up as a tomboy, and I was obviously in a very male-dominated occupation. So me being around a bunch of women isn't exactly what I think is all that grand, but I really do enjoy the atmosphere here. It's amazing.
Yeah, and Rock Castle, for those who have not been there, you need to make the trip. It is really an amazing place. Have you gone down to the cave?
Oh, yeah, yes. If you saw the CBS Sunday morning piece this morning, we actually were at the cooling cave. If you've been here, you know that there's a cooling cave. Caves are either inbound or outbound, and this is an outbound cave, so it blows about 58-degree air all year round. So it's like nature's air conditioner in the hot and kind of heater in the winter.
I have stood by that opening trying to cool off in the middle of a shoot before, so I know exactly what you're talking about. All right, so let me ask you, first of all, your testimony in front of Congress where you made a passion plea, you did a great job, but in the middle of the question and answer, the thing that's being quoted is you basically just told them if they pass an assault weapons ban, or a ban on semi-automatic rifles, you will not comply. That's what you said. I will not comply. Had you planned that?
Oh, no, that was not in the script.
So where did it come from?
Well, earlier, within the hour before I said it, there was a gentleman in the gallery that stood up and said he wanted to testify, and that I didn't get everything he was saying, but he said, we will not comply, and I turned around and actually looked and saw his shirt that says, we will not comply. And so I think it was in my brain. So if you hear if you hear that testimony again, you'll hear me reference him. I said,
yes.
just like the gentleman that got escorted out, I'm with him. I will not comply.
What was the reaction to that?
There was a lot of jaws dropped open and eyes were very wide, and I just don't think that they understand. I just don't think they understand, and I guess I'm really glad that I had an opportunity to say it, because they probably never even fathomed that people don't comply. And you think about all the people in the Northeast and New York, New Jersey, even California, that are probably just under the radar, and they're not complying. They just don't say anything. What are they going to do? Stand up and say, hey, take me to jail? So I don't think that they realize that all these 10-round magazine bans and all the crazy things that they implement, that people just go dark and go underground instead of sticking their head up. And I wanted them to realize that, this affects a lot of people. 16 million gun owners out there, estimated, with AR-15s. And if you want to go down this route, you're choosing to make more felons at the same time that you're trying to, with this criminal justice reform that they passed, they're trying to make it easier for people that have already committed broken laws that they have put in place, and now they're trying to make more people criminals. So it just doesn't make sense. It's all feel-good legislation, and somebody needs to stand up and say, hey, this isn't an answer. Look at our gun-free zones. The gun-free zones, you've gotten what you want, and that's where the tragedies are happening.
Right. Well, I was thinking about this. Of course, you have become, I don't know if this is what you intended when you started the D.C. project, but now you have become a leader in the gun rights movement, whether you wanted to or not. So welcome to the party,
Well, I did.
But that's okay.
I did want to make a difference. I didn't know it would look like this, but I'm happy to. If I'm the right voice, I'm happy to lend my voice to the cause. It's a worthy cause.
Well, it also is instructive to them to hear somebody who is a career law enforcement officer, 22 years on the force, tell them, I am not going to comply with this law. And, and they don't know, you're right, they don't know that, where they have these confiscation laws or these registration laws, they're getting like a single-digit compliance rate in New York and in other states. They don't have any idea. I was trying to explain to somebody, Diana, today, I said, look, here's the deal. It's called civil disobedience. And we have a long history of that in the United States. And sometimes when the law is either unjust or unconstitutional, you have to figure out where you stand on that. And, they say, well, but it's the law. I say, yes, but slavery was the law. And putting Japanese Americans into internment camps was the law. But it's wrong. And you have to simply stand up and say it's wrong. And the only way I can do anything about it at this point is to not comply and challenge it that way. Right.
Well, and I also think that our community, people who are probably listening to you right now, we need to do a better job of our messaging. And we need to understand, when somebody asks you, why does anybody need an AR-15, you need to have a better answer, a more palatable answer than, maybe than I did this morning on CBS because, he asked me if it was a fair question. I said, no, it's not a fair question. It's crazy to think that this gun that doesn't kill any more people than hammers and blunt objects every year is going to solve the issue at hand. So, but back to our messaging, we need to be able to say why we think AR-15s this is not a solution. And we need to be able to say why we feel like background checks. I've had several people within our community in the past couple of weeks that have told me that, well, I don't have a problem with extended background checks. So I go over it with them. I'm like, okay, so this is going to affect what they're talking about is individual sales. That's, there is no gun show loophole. They're talking about individual sales, and that's going to affect hunters, a lot of hunters, because who borrows guns? I need a duck gun. I don't have a duck gun, but buddy has a duck gun. That's no more. The family members and things like that. So when I go through and then I talk, ultimately it's going to lead to a registry, then they kind of back off that opinion. But we have to understand, we need to be armed with those points ourselves for our own mind, and then to be able to go out and tell other people why we don't support red flag laws or we don't support background checks.
Well, I tell you what, I agree with you. I tell you what, let's do this. I need to take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk about this messaging, how we can all be better and how we can all step up, stand up and speak up. We're talking with Diana Muller, 22-year law enforcement officer, and of course you saw her this week testifying before Congress, as well as this morning on CBS Sunday Morning and I'll just tell you, she did a great job. Diana, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You need a shotgun. You really do. Home defense, hunting, tactical, target, competition. Mossberg. Yes, Mossberg. That's all you need to know. Pumps, autos, over-unders, extended mags, detachable box mags, sights, slings, 12, 20, 28, and 410. Wood synthetic, rugged metal coatings. And of course, the revolutionary Shockwave. Not technically a shotgun, but it's awesome. Short, powerful, and life-saving. Making rugged guns for Americans for 100 years. Find your shotgun at Mossberg.com.
Hi, this is Ryan Gresham with Gun Talk. Have you ever heard about a gun giveaway and thought, I can't win that stuff, I live in a state where I can't own it? Well, visit guntalk.com/win to enter the Legal Everywhere giveaway, presented by Timney Triggers. One grand prize with more than $7,300 in prizes, including 2 handguns, triggers, holster packages, tactical gear, optics, and more. Residents of all 50 states can enter. That's right, California, Massachusetts, Maryland, those 5 counties in Illinois, everyone. Prizes from Axion Optics, Colt, Crossbreed Holsters, DeSantis, Proper, Timney Triggers, and Walther. Enter now through November 1st at guntalk.com/win. That's guntalk.com/win.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
Smith & Wesson announces a new rebate for the popular M&P 9 Shield and M&P 380 Shield EZ pistols. Qualifying purchases made between October 14th and December 8th are eligible for a $50 prepaid card. Terms and conditions apply. Visit smith-wesson.com/shield 2019 for complete details. More than 3 million people have chosen the M&P Shield family of pistols for their personal protection needs. Shouldn't you?
We're talking with Diana Muller. She is a professional shooter, full-time professional shooter, former law enforcement officer for 22 years, just testified in front of Congress, and also she appeared this morning on the wildly popular CBS Sunday Morning show. Diana, you were talking about the messaging, and I love that you are, because I have spent a lot of my life trying to help people come up with better messaging. It's not enough to say, well, it's my right, and leave it at that. You have to, if you're going to be persuasive, and I guess the whole thing is, I always tell people, look, it's not enough to be right. You have to win. You can be right and lose. In fact, we have been right a number of times, and we have won on a lot of, or rather, we've lost on a lot of issues. So you now are becoming a very experienced person. You go up to D.C., you talk to Congress people, you testify up there. How do you coach somebody up on being persuasive and having the right message?
I appreciate your confidence in me, but I'm just an ordinary American who has seen what's going on, and I just took the first step, and I've only been taking, baby steps towards getting to where, I would not have felt comfortable 4 years ago when I started the DC project, jumping straight in. I wasn't comfortable, going last week. I didn't know if I was ready. I didn't know if I was the right voice. But you have to step outside your comfort zone, and especially when it comes to talking about guns. I mean, think about red flag laws. I mean, who's going to want to talk about guns if you think that you're going to offend somebody and scare somebody and they're going to call the police on you? So I think the red flag laws are almost a Second Amendment or a First Amendment issue, as
yes.
Fine with a Second Amendment issue. So yeah, I can't say that I'm an expert. I can just say that I'm tired of being the silent majority, and we are losing the hearts and minds of the middle of America because we aren't out there beating the drum and educating people as to guns are normal, this is okay, come to the range.
I think you just touched on something that's really important for people to understand. You get out and talk to people. A lot of people just go out with their buddies, they go shooting. They don't really talk to people who have different opinions. You said we are losing the hearts and minds of the American public on this issue. And I would agree with you on that. And it is because, and this is where I'm going to end up, it's because they have been so badly and intentionally misled. Right now, we just had the new FBI crime reports come out. Once again, crime is down. Murders are down. Crime with guns is down. But the vast majority of the people in America think that crime is up, that gun crimes are way up, and that semi-automatic rifles are used in a majority of crimes when, in fact, more people are killed with fist and feet than they are with rifles of any type. So, I'm just thinking about how do we do a better job when you get this kind of an answer, or question rather. Maybe the answer you started off with something like this. Well, the very question you're asking is based on a misunderstanding or actually misinformation. And in point of fact, so few people are killed with semi-automatic rifles that actually more people are killed with fist and feet. You kind of start off with that. Now, I don't know if that has any traction, but we do have the facts on our side, but the emotion seems to me it often just outweighs the facts.
It does, but we're going to have to educate ourselves on what those statistics are and really remember them. And you just have to start having this conversation, because the first time you have it is not going to be an easy one, and then you learn from it. It's a lot like, if there's any Christians listening, it's a lot like witnessing for Christ. I mean, honestly, you just have to start creating relationships and talking about what you know to be true.
Well, the first time you went out and shot a match, you may not have been all that good at it, and you get better at it each time you do, right?
Right.
You have to, but you have to jump into the middle of it and just say, I'm going to do this. And when you find out, okay, well, that argument didn't work, and I wasn't very persuasive, and you go back and just replay it in your mind and go, what could I have done better? Who can I borrow from Tom the way and look, that's all I do. That's all I do is think about ways to present information in a way that people can pick up a nugget and go use that. I call it intellectual ammunition. And then that's what we all need. We all need a big old bucket of intellectual ammunition that we can use.
But you have to be intentional in that. You have to have that on your mind when you're digesting information and trying to regurgitate information. If this is something that's on your heart and you think it's a problem, which I'm hoping that our community is figuring out that it is a problem, that you're going to have to put an effort towards it. It's not something that's going to be easy. Yes, you understand why you believe what you believe and you know you're right, but can you articulate that to somebody else? And something else that I'd really like to encourage people in our community to do is become, involved in local politics, state politics. We have to create, we have to have, if you don't like the way your kids' schools run for the school board. I mean, I'm tired of our schools just basically, it's full of misinformation, and you can't wear a product that says anything or has anything gun related on it. Hunting, it had a picture of a hunting and a bird on it, and you're just like, they have gone so far, and whose fault is that? If I have a kid and I'm in school, I'm going to say, okay, maybe it's time for me to step up and go run for the school board. I don't want to, but we have to have good people from our community stand up to be leaders.
You make a good point. You say, I don't want to do this, but this must be done. And, I hear people say, well, I can't go to the legislature. And besides, we, on our side, we have jobs, and those people don't have jobs, so they're free to go testify. And I say, no, that's just bull. Everybody has demands on their time, whether it's having to get daycare or jobs or whatever else. They, on the other side, make the effort to go and do these things. And it is really simple, Diana. If we don't do that, we lose.
Yep.
Tell people about DC Project.
The DC Project, you can find out more information at dcproject.info, INFO. We are 50 women, one from every state. We've been going to Washington, D.C. once a year to meet our legislators as gun owners and a kind of a face of the Second Amendment. So, but honestly, I feel like there's room for us to grow. It's going to take a lot of money, so we're upping our fundraising. All these past 4 years, all these girls have been going on their own dime and their own time. So this year, I went ahead and took the step to be a 501c4. We're an official foundation, and we need to raise some money. And what I want to do with that is take the DC Project pilot program, whatever you want to call it, and take it back down to the state level because and look, I'm out of time. Tell them where to go for more information again. What's the website? dcproject.info. And thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Diana. It's great to see you at GRPC, and I will see you again soon at SHOT Show at least. All right. Take care. Diana Muller, I am so very glad to have her on our side, doing great work out there. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk to a guy who's figured out how to get gun folks to show up, stand up, and speak up.
Good morning, Mr. Gresham. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to host a radio show that will bring truth and common sense to the discussion of firearms rights in this country. Good luck, Tom, to you and your Tom Gresham's Gun Talk team.
Welcome back to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk Reloaded.
866 Talk Gun. If you'd like to share your adventures, your gun adventures, if you have a range report, by all means, give us a shout. Call me at Tom Talk Gun. What have you been out shooting? Long range, shotguns, rifles, handguns, taking a class, doing some training? Let me know. What are you doing out there? By the way, if you're an AR-15 owner shooter, love to know what you do with that. A lot of people hunting with them. Obviously, a lot of people have them for self-defense, although that drives some of the gun banners crazy. They just can't imagine that you would use an AR-15 for home defense. Well, until you find out how good they are and the benefits of them. And oh yeah, they don't shoot through all the walls the way you think they are. Actually, your 9mm pistol will go through more walls than your typical AR-15 round. How do I know? Well, we build walls and we shoot through them. Multiple walls, lots of walls. I know what works, what doesn't. Gee, not because I read about it on the internet, because I actually go out and do it. I shoot that stuff. Another guy who actually knows what he's talking about because he does this stuff, builds great AR-15 rifles, but also has figured out a way to get gun people to show up. Joining us right now is Mike Wahalski from Sons of Liberty Gun Works. Hey, Mike, how are you, sir?
Hey, good, Tom. Thanks for having me on again.
You bet. I'm sorry that I missed you. I know you were in our neighborhood here. You're goofing around with our buddy Dan, but you guys are so busy. You're trying to move a whole bunch of guns these days.
Things have definitely picked up, man. It's pretty exciting pretty stressful, but it's good.
Okay, there are a zillion companies making AR-15s, and there are some really big companies, obviously, out there. So how and why do you get into making AR-15s? So, and what is your market niche?
Well, we started out primarily targeting the professional shooters, the people that carry a rifle for a living. That was our original niche, but the more we've kind of expanded. I mean, the everyday average American, like you were talking about earlier, that over penetration of walls. The AR-15 is legitimately like the best defensive gun a civilian can own. Period. That is by far the most effective defensive gun a civilian can own. And the more civilians get educated about the AR platform, they want a truly combative rifle, which is where we come in. That's our niche. High performance, high round count, reliable rifles.
And we're talking about, if you don't know, people don't know, I haven't actually said it. This is the Sons of Liberty Gun Works on the web at sonsoflibertygw.com. You can find out more about it there. All right, but recently, I don't know what happened to you, man, but I don't know if you just got fed up, but so what's the story about you bringing all these people to this governmental meeting? First of all, what was the meeting?
So my city, San Antonio, they wanted to have a town. They had 3 town hall meetings about gun violence, mass shootings, and then basically what the policy was going to be going forward as far as the city. And I went to the first 2 town halls, and they were attended by about 30 people. The majority of the people that attended were extremely anti-gun. These are activists. You have about 20 moms demand action, and then you have people that I guess don't have cable or something. They show up to these things, and they're extremely anti-gun. And believe it or not, a small number of people, like 20 people, drive the narrative and shape policy.
Well, they do if they're the only ones who are there. If they're the only ones there, then that's the only voice that goes out there. Okay, so you go to these 2 meetings, and you're going, what the heck, dude?
Right. So the third town hall meeting was going to be specifically about policy. So I put this out through our social media. I went through a lot of our clients, a lot of our friends, affiliates down here, and we showed up with about 450 people.
How did you
450 people to a meeting that normally attracts 30 people, and I can promise you they noticed that.
Well, you couldn't even get them all in the room, right?
No, there was about 100 people waiting outside to get in that just watched it from their phone, and there was about 100 more people that were trying to get into the parking lot that the police had to eventually shut the entire parking lot down. It was peaceful. It was civil. There was no disturbance. There was just an overwhelming amount of people that wanted to come participate in this thing.
What was the reaction on the part of the people who were actually holding or conducting the town hall?
I'll be honest. I think a few of the people, a few of the council members that were there, I think we changed the narrative. I don't think they're going to go through. There are at least a few council members I can promise will not participate in this gun buyback that our city was proposing. Whenever you go from 30 people in attendance to 450 people in attendance, that catches some attention. There are a couple of council members that are not moved by any of that, but we definitely changed the tempo of that conversation.
Well, you know what it is, and they're being told, well, everybody wants this. Everybody wants this. The polls are showing that people want more gun control. And then when the 20 moms demand people get overwhelmed by 450 people who say absolutely not one more inch on gun control, they have to stop and go, wait a minute, have I been misled? And at least the honest ones will take a look at it. So all right. So the question is, how did you get all these people there?
I think the trick is to make activism fun. We kind of set the stage for there was going to be a showdown, and then afterwards, everybody that wanted to come could join us for cocktails. I think the problem with a lot of this stuff, the inviting people to get politically engaged, is that it sounds like a chore. But if you make it fun, all right, hey, there's going to be, like the founders intended, there's going to be cocktails after,
right?
And there's going to be a bout. There's going to be a showdown here. people want to come watch the ballot and they want to go have cocktails. And I think if we're going to engage the other side, if we're going to actually get numbers turning out for this thing, it can't be a chore. You have to kind of make it fun.
Hey, hold on a second here, Mike. I got to take a quick break and come back. I'd like to talk about this a little bit more. How do we get people to show up? And we got an idea from another Mike, another friend of ours, who says, hey, we'll just do that. We'll give away guns. Well, heck yes. We're talking with Mike Nahosky from Sons of Liberty Gun Works. If you'd like to join us, 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
Why do hunters and shooters love the Ruger American rifle? With right-handed and left-handed versions, all-weather, Magnum, Compact, Predator, Ranch, and Scope package options, there's a Ruger American for everyone. Lightweight with an adjustable trigger and minute of angle accuracy, Ruger American rifles pack in the features. Is the Ruger American the best rifle on the market? See for yourself at your local retailer or at Ruger.com. That's Ruger.com.
Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. The time is now to band together. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
It's the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Needs. I'm Alan Gottlieb, founder of the Second Amendment Foundation. When someone says we don't need that kind of gun, remind them the Founding Fathers determined what rights our Constitution should protect. There's a world of difference between rights and needs. It is not the function of government to tell us what we need or what we don't. Certainly no one needs an assault rifle or a Saturday Night Special, or for that matter, no one needs a Corvette with a high-capacity horsepower engine capable of speeds to 150 miles per hour. But in the hands of honest, responsible individuals, we have the right of choice. We have the right to read books others don't like. We have the right to listen to any radio program we choose. We have the right to dress the way we want to. We also have the right to own firearms of our choice. So the next time someone tells you, you don't need something, tell them it's the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Needs. Join the Second Amendment Foundation today so that this message and our Bill of Rights might live. Call 425-454-7012. That's 425-454-7012.
Brownells.com is your home for all things firearms. Looking for a retro rifle? How about the BRN 180 or 180S? Named one of SHOT Show's best products of 2019. Visit Brownells.com for guns, ammo, reloading equipment, or anything you need to customize your firearm. And enjoy the industry's only guaranteed forever satisfaction policy. To stay up to date with the latest and best deals from Brownells, text BRN to 556-223.
All right, I've been talking about this for a while. How do you get people to show up? Because we have to show up, stand up, speak up. That's how we win. Whether it's a city council meeting, a town hall meeting, or at your legislature. We're talking with Mike Nahosky from Sons of Liberty Gun Works in San Antonio. And Mike, we've talked about, I know you talked with Dan about our other Mike here in Louisiana who gets people to show up. Basically, he gives guns away. He says, look, if you show up, you will be entered into a raffle. If there's 40 of you, there's 40 people entered into the raffle. If there's 100, there's 100 into the raffle. And I thought, well, that's kind of brilliant.
We did that too. Yeah, we did that. Yeah, I did it more as an act of defiance to give rifles away at an anti-gun town hall meeting. And what's amazing is that we drew. I gave away 2 custom AR-15s from Sons of Liberty, which these are not cheap.
Right.
Okay. And the 2 winners that we drew have not even come to claim it. They were just so happy with the turnout and that our voice was heard. Obviously, yeah, I'm sure there's other people that if I would have drawn any other 2 winners, maybe they would have. But yeah, as a gun company, as a manufacturer, as a gun retailer, you should be willing to put your money where your mouth is a little bit. And I was totally prepared to give away 2 rifles if that meant a few more seats taken on our side, you know?
You know, and I'm thinking there are an awful lot of us who have one extra gun. You know, it's like the old question of when MSNBC asked me how many guns I owned, I said, well, let's see, more than I need and not as many as I want. So, in other words, none of your business, but that's a whole different deal, right?
Right.
But, you know, if you want people to show up, you say, oh, yeah, look, and it doesn't have to be, you know, one of your absolutely top-of-the-line ARs. It can be whatever you got there. If you put 2 or 3 guns together, and every gun store has some used guns out there, they say, look, you know, we've got a couple $100 into these things. We could give these away just as a way of incentivizing people to come show up, because I've tried to explain to people, you were there, you saw it. Explain the impact when you fill all the seats and you own the arena.
It's incredible. There's no way that you can ignore that. For the opposition, the lady that runs Moms Demand Action in my town, her and I actually talked, you know,
Mm-hmm.
And she approached me afterwards and said, you know, they were pretty much blown away with the attendance. They were pretty impressed with that. They wish they could do that on their side. The truth is that we really do have the numbers on our side. That's just the fact that we have the facts on our side, we have the statistics on our side, and we have the people on our side. That we need to get these people engaged, and you need to make it fun. It can't be, you know, come out and do a chore. You need to actually, you know, make it fun. And that's what we did, and the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, come out and do this thing, and then we're all going to go out for drinks.
Exactly. And here's the thing: I was a little bit disappointed with some of the other, you know, gun people that are professional gun people in our town that, you know, kind of remain silent on this issue. Mm-hmm. And this affects you. I mean, they're talking about rezoning gun shops. They're talking about adding city taxes specifically for FFLs. But why would you not speak up on this? Why are you not pushing out to your network of people? Why are you not pitching into this fight? I don't understand.
Every gun store should be involved. I mean, every retail outlet should be involved. Every shooting range should be involved on every issue and should be there at city council meetings, or at least have somebody who is saying, hey, guys, they're going to be talking about this. I've seen the agenda. Here's the alert. Let's all show up. I mean, but... And look, you're not exactly...
This absolutely affects our livelihood.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
You would think that this is a big deal.
You're not exactly a politically correct guy, okay? I'm just going to say that right here. But you're getting really good at this. But what I want you to do is just take a second and talk to people, the gun folks out there who say, yeah, I know, but I have a job, and I'm busy, and I don't have time, and I have commitments, and yada, yada, yada. You hear it all the time. What do you say to that guy?
We're going to need a little bit more involvement than a Facebook post. We're going to need a little bit more help than a bumper sticker. You know, you can't just donate $20 to, you know, perhaps the NRA or something and feel like they're going to go fight this thing for you. One of the most frustrating things that I see from a huge, so I'm probably going to piss some of our customers off right now, but, you know, you hear this, you know, come and take it. You hear, I will not comply. And I agree. Neither will I. But how do you have the commitment to possibly fight an insurgency, but you don't have the commitment to show up to a town hall meeting?
Thank you.
Or you don't have the commitment to potentially, you know, donate to some of these organizations that are legally fighting these battles. If you don't have the commitment to do that, I seriously question your commitment to go fight an insurgency. Absolutely.
I agree completely. All right, Mike, the website, I want to make sure I have it right. sonsoflibertygw.com. Is that it?
That's correct.
All right. Tell you what. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get you a hold for one more break here. I'm going to bring you back, and I want you to think about this. We're going to talk ARs for a second.
Okay.
There's ARs. They all look alike. They all look cool. They all look great. And from the outside, you can't tell the difference. And this is what I'm going to put you on the spot. Guy says, I want an AR, but I want you to tell me 2 things, maybe 3 things that I either need to do to it or make sure it has to make sure it's an upgrade. We're going to really put him on the spot here. When we come back, we'll talk with Mike Hosky from Sons of Liberty Gun Works. They build great, seriously good AR-15s for people who make their livings carrying guns. It's a whole different level out there. 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk. right, we're going to put him on the spot. Mike Michalski from Sons of Liberty Gun Works is with us now. Mike, all AR-15s look alike from the outside. You build really high-end AR-15s. A gal comes to you and says, I want my gun to be better than stock. What are you going to tell them? 2, 3 things that they need to do or internals they need to be paying attention to?
Well, one correction. I don't think we make high-end guns. I think we make high-performance guns. And that's the one that, there's a difference, Okay. A lot of the cosmetic machining and things like that don't actually enhance performance. Things that you never think about, like springs, right? If you were to boil the entire cycle of operation down to 2 steps, make a hole and fill it, right? That spent brass has to come out of the chamber, and the next round has to be loaded. And if you were to focus on powerful extractor springs, heavy buffers, powerful action springs, you got to make a hole and fill it every time. There's a thing that we talk about is called priority number 1. Priority number 1 is that gun has to work no matter what. Function first, right? Over weight, over speed, over anything. Function first. The gun has to work. So if you're doing anything to your rifle that is not enhancing its actual performance, I would say your priorities are out of line. If you're doing something in the gun that makes you shoot faster, but is taking mass away from the bolt carrier group or mass away from the buffer, you're going in the wrong direction.
Of course, you build guns for people to use to save lives. You build fighting guns, and so function and reliability are number 1.
Ranges, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I mean, here's the thing. I mean, you look at unfortunately, a lot of the guns on the market. You see broken bolt catches, broken bolts. You see failure to detonate on primers because they were so concerned about the trigger weight that they forgot about the hammer strike needing to be adequate to detonate that primer. I mean,
to make it go off.
We see it all the time. Yeah, I mean, so it doesn't matter how fast you can pull it if it goes click.
Yeah. Excellent point. You have a lot of good information on your website. I would encourage people to go take a look at it. Again, it's sonsoflibertygw.com. But also, thank you so much for your activism and for pointing out how do we get people there. You got to get the word out. You have to have a mechanism for contacting people, but then an incentive, whether it's, hey, we're all going to go have fun, or, people who attend are actually going to get entered into a raffle and a chance to win a gun. I love all of that. Mike, you're doing great stuff, and I just congratulations and thank you for what you're doing, man.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, and I want to encourage your listeners, if you have the opportunity, it takes 30 seconds, call your representative, send an email, do something to let them know that the silent majority is here. That we're up against very dedicated activists, but they are in the minority. We are the majority, and we have to actually make those phone calls, show up to those meetings, and vote.
It's a good point. They have billionaires, but we have millions and millions and millions of us. And if we show up, if we get active, we act, we win. It's as simple as that. Mike Michalski, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll get you on again another time. I'll pick your brains about ARs again. Thank you, sir. By the way, in just a few minutes, you're going to love this. We're going to have a fellow on here who grew up or lived under a communist dictatorship, came to America. He is a physician. And he has the inside scoop on all of these medical studies and the stuff the CDC has done, how they cook the books, how they slant the studies, how they basically, they're operating dishonestly. And he has a great book out on this. And you're going to find out an awful lot. It's very interesting stuff. We'll have that as well. Also, it'll be a chance for you to give us a shout, 866-TALK-GUN. A little later in the show, we have Kim Edwards set up, and also a couple who, newspaper was going to do a really nice story on this gun store, and then somebody said, no, you can't do a positive story on gun owners. Pull the plug on it. Yeah. More of the same, right? 866-TALK-GUN. Check it out, guntalk.com. I'm Tom Gresham. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk.